So hello everyone. Today we'll do making of Constitution, chapter two's itself. The questions from M. Laxmikant itself. We have completed M. Laxmikant's chapter two, making of Constitution. Now it's time to do the chapter questions. Now consider the following statement regarding the composition of Constitution Assembly. All right, we have to consider the statements, and we have on basis on that we will have to answer these questions. Now the representatives were to be elected for from the four constituents: Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, and Christian. No, it is not like that. It was not selected based on that. All right, Hindus. It was Hindus. No, not Hindus. Only Muslim, Sikh, and general. All right, this is how the constitution has to be made. Now, the chairman of the Union Constituent Committee was Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. So it is not like that. The chairman of Union Constitution Committee was not Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. It was temporarily it was Sardar Sinha. Temporarily, later on it was bifurcated into the president as well as the vice president. The chairmans were different. All right, on the basis of their legislative body as well as constitution making body. So it is also not correct. Chapter 3 is the total strength of constitution was 399. So it is quite correct. And the drafting committee under the chairmanship of B.R. Ambedkar consisted of 8 members. Was that 8 members? Think on it. Uh, no, it was not 8 members. Let's recheck it if you want to it. It was 7 member, I believe, the drafting committee, and it would be better if I check it correctly. See, 7 members. Drafting committee was 7 member body, and here they are written 7. So answer is C. All right. Second question: which of the following provision of Constitution of India was given immediate effect from November 26, 1949? That means which part were taken immediate effect. So what could we have given? And based on these points we have to select our answers. So there's citizenship, the election, all right, emergency provisions, and federal system of government. So just think on it. Citizenship would be given on the very time itself, all right. The citizenship would be given in the November 26 1949. Along with that, the elections have also been made. How elections will be taking place, how people will vote in India, because these emergency provisions, these are later part. I don't believe they would have done it. The federal system of government, nobody would even understand it. It all will happen after the commencement of constitution, and this is the time of adoption. All right. So 1 and 3, I believe this is 1 and 3 is quite right. Now the third, what was the procedure followed by the adoption of constitution? Right, it was submitted to the people of India for rectification. It was submitted to the Governor General for his assent. It was adopted when the interim government approved it, and it was adopted whether it was received the signature of president, the members of Constituent Assembly. So it was the rectification originally, I believe, took place by the president. Right, just think on it. It was adopted on the receiving signature of president. Then only it can be approved. No, and then the members of the Constitution Assembly, who was also acting as a parliament. Thereafter, fourth, who among the following was the chairman of State Committee and the Constitution Assembly? Remember, chairman of the State Committee, along for the Constitution Assembly as well. What could be it? It was Jawaharlal Nehru, right? Sardar Patel was in the home, Bir Ambedkar was in the drafting, Rajendra Pradas was on the flag committee and lawmaking. So chairman of the state committee for the Constitution Assembly was Dr. Jawaharlal Nehru. All right. Coming on to fifth question, the Constitution of India as a frame was Constitution Assembly was adopted and enacted on. So we know that adopted and enacted was both happened in the November 26th of November, right? And the commencement of Constitution took place in 26th December 1950, 26th January 1950. All right. Now we have to match the following: the Constitution Assembly Committee and their chairman. The steering committee was Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Oh. Forgive me. Yes, it was Dr. Rajendra Prasad, steering committee. Fundamental rights and subcommittees were Sardar Patel. I believe Union Constitution Committee was Jawaharlal Nehru, right? Provincial Constitution Committee was uh, just see the answers based on 1 2. So here we have A 2, means either this or this is our answer. All right. Now C is 4. C is 4 here. So answer is 1, right? C is 4, so answer is 1. Fundamental Rights Subcommittee. Fundamental Rights Subcommittee came to Sardar JB Kripalani. All right, it came to JB Kripalani, and Provincial Constitution Committee came to Sardar Bhai Patel. All right, that means the Union Constitution Committee came to Jawaharlal Nehru, and the Union part came to the Jawaharlal Nehru, and while the provincial came to the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Fundamental rights, and it was a subcommittee, right? And subcommittee, it was headed by whom? Sardar Bhai Patel. Remember, he was the main chairman, and under him there was subcommittees in which JB Kripalani was part of it. Now, the members of Constitution Assembly were directly elected by the people? No. Nominated by the Governor General? No. They were elected by the legislative of various provinces and nominated by the rulers of Princely State? Yes, it can be. Nominated by the Congress and the Muslim League? No. So, I believe C is the answer, because they were partially elected, partially nominated. Alright, members. And who was the following constitution advisor to the Constitution Committee? Who was the advisor of it? So we know that Sir B.N. Rao was the advisor of the Constitution Assembly. All right, we have read it also about it, as Munshi and T.T. Karmachari and B.R. Ambedkar. They were all part of the uh, your drafting committee, right? They were part of drafting. See, T.T. Karmachari and Munshi Ambedkar, they were part of the drafting committee, but Sir B.N. Rao was the secretary of it. Now it says in the Constitution Assembly of 1946 was not elected on the basis of universal adult franchise, and the Constitution Assembly was constitution under the scheme formed by the Cabinet Mission Plan. Now, what can be the answer of it? I believe both are true, both are correct. Reason? Because we haven't taken the election was not based on only the universal adult franchise. All right, as they were elected as well as nominated, and the constitution was completely formulated by the cabinet mission plan of 1946, which came in power. Cabinet mission plan. All right, just let me recheck when the cabinet mission plan came in India. Uh, Cabinet mission plan. Yeah, it was 1946. I was correct. It was 1946. It came in 1946. Hence, now 10th, who among the following are the objective resolution? So we know that objective resolution given by the Jawaharlal Nehru. So no rocket science in it. And consider the following statement. First, Dr. Siddhant Sinha was elected the provincial president of the Constitution Assembly. Provincial president is not the right word, right? He became the temporary president of the Constitution Assembly. All right. He became the temporary president of the Constitution Assembly, and following the French practice, right? As he was the oldest law member, and H.C. Mukherjee was elected the vice president of the Constituent Assembly. So it is right. They were not just H.C. Mukherjee. We have G.B. Mavalankar as well. I hope I'm right. Let me recheck it. Yes, V.T. Karmachari. I'm sorry, V.T. Karmachari and G.B. Mavalankar. They both became the vice president of Constitution Assembly. So only two is correct. And yes, 11. What's the answer? C. Both 1 and 2. Okay, if it is given, then both 1 and 2. Provincial president, I don't think it was the right term. Dr. Sajan Sinha was the temporary president. right? If I can show you all whether I'm right or not, uh, it could be understood by you guys. See, Dr. Sachiran Sinha, uh, let me just not text, comment, pencil, format. Okay. See, Dr. Sachidan Sinha was the oldest member and was elected as temporary president of the assembly using the French practice. I told you everything, right? And both H.C. Mukherjee, you can see if you can, was the vice president of the assembly, right? I don't know why they have given this answer, right? So anyhow, the book has given the answer, so it might be correct. I'm not sure about this question. Uh, Still, anyhow, whatever happens, yes, whatever happens, I'm not sure about it. So based on that, I can say that for me it can be only two, right? Because he was not provincial president. Now, provincial, provisional. Oh, provisional is also the same word, right? Think on it. Yes, this is not correct. Got it correctly. I thought it was a provision. I thought it was a presidency, some provision related to that. All right. So I believe it is uh, it is quite correct. We couldn't do it anyhow. Now let me just typewrite it, right? Here I can write that provisional means temporary, right? Anyhow, just leave it out. Provisional means temporary. Provisional means temporary. All right. And this is how we have also discussed, right? We have also discussed the uh, the book Objective Resolution by M. Laxmikant as well, and this would be helpful, really, right? This would be helpful. Objective Resolution. So I'm having this book, McGraw Hill's Education, Objective Indian Polity, General Studies, Paper One for Civil Service Preliminary Examination. So it is quite good, and if you want to purchase it, so you can definitely purchase it, right? I will be discussing more on it, but I think we did quite good. We almost did everything, and only because of the confusion, we couldn't answer that last question. All right, but we got to know that temporary is provisional president, all right, of the Constitution Assembly. So thank you everyone for your time, and Jai Hind. And I'll be continuing this journey, and I'll be also doing NCRTs also. I'm not getting proper time because of the work. So thank you everyone.